are rolling. Jake, thank you for coming back on the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, dude. It's a pleasure.
I think last time we spoke, I want to say it was April last year. Die Fast was coming out, and we had you on
Yeah,
the show for an episode. Feels like fucking ages ago now.
it does. Yeah,
What's good, my friend? What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
just evolution and maturing. Just it's been a crazy year, really. But obviously, we wrote a new record, which is what
We're
we're
gonna get
coming
into
around.
all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I've just been moving around, trying to currently learn how to tattoo. And as a 32-year-old, it's quite a wild world because I've spent like the last 10 years of my life chefing, and now I'm trying to. I clearly like love tattoos, and
For
I always have
sure.
done. So I'm on this journey at the moment. Currently trying to move to Paris to be with my partner, and so there's a lot going on. It's constant, but it's really fun.
Blood to death, until your guides, to stay alive. Break your family. Rip from this world, take on a comfort. What's a mother's son? No just
As an appreciator of the art of a tattoo, I think all your art looks sick.
Thank you, dude.
If I was over there, I'd give you some skin, let you go fucking crazy, and just like tat whatever you're feeling.
Just butcher you up.
Yeah, exactly. I got some fucking thigh skin or some butt skin. You can go crazy. It's fine.
It means a lot. It's very cool. I think I'm very lucky in the fact that there are people who will let me or help me or support me in this journey. There's so much encouragement and stuff, which is the reason why I'm renting a room in Todmorden at the moment, which is
Mhm.
over in like Yorkshire Way. It's beautiful countryside, and I'm with a friend who's like trying to show me some stuff, and just focused on this journey right now, and it's cool. And it's only through the people's like encouragement and support that I feel like, bloody hell, maybe I can actually do this. Like maybe
Oh,
one day.
dude. I'll say, like, even just like the drawings, the art, and stuff that you've already kind of put together looks super sick. So I
Thanks,
have no
man.
doubt in my mind that you have a very promising career
Yeah,
further to come.
cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's hard. It's one of those things to come to do something every single day and not feel very confident with it. It's you have to just be willing to take a lot of defeats. But I've built a new resilience since we last spoke, and like I say, I feel like I've evolved and matured in some way, and I feel quite toughened to the world. So there's just perseverance there. I've got a goal, and I'm determined to get to that goal.
Let's talk about that evolution then, because
Mm.
when we spoke last time, Going Off was releasing your second album, Die
Yeah,
Fast. And we talked a little bit in that conversation about the difference between that record and the previous release, which was the first Kill List EP.
yeah,
And you kind of talked about it being like two different versions of the same band, or exploring kind of two different sounds within the idea of what Going Off is. So kind of revisit that conversation for me and talk to me about what the difference is between the Die Fast material and what you're working on with Kill List 2.
I think even as more times pass, the not the evolution, but the divide between the Die Fast and the album sounding more hardcore, lenient stuff, as opposed to the more dark, heavy side of the Kill List kind of stuff, it actually boils down to core members who were realistically involved in the writing processes of each EP.
Sure.
We have our OG drummer, who his last record was Die Fast, like the last record he actually tracked with us. Our friend, as like band family, Hef. He's still like, I was living with him recently. Like we're still super
Mhm.
close, and we're all close knit as a unit. But since we formed in 2019, like. I mean, I'm one of the youngest. I think I am the youngest member of Going Off. Everybody else, adult lives, serious adult shit happens, you know, and everybody
Yeah,
everybody has it's so I think we're surprised with how far this journey and this music has taken us so far. Um, but everybody goes through changes and stuff, and other people's influences and tastes. You know, we came to a point where people can kind of dip in and out, and we realize that going off can have different kind of energy and output, and it all kind of can still fall under this umbrella because it is still quintessentially going off at the very heart. So Kill List, the first one with Ben, who's like our core like writing member from the get go. He wrote those riffs, and I wrote lyrics to them. And then Kill List 2 was a bit more of an evolution because we knew. I think we went through a bit of a journey. We didn't really want to do a follow up to Kill List first. We were just kind of like, well, we're
right.
going to write this heavy tune. We had a friend from the local hardcore scene, Sammy. He filled in on drums for a little bit for us, and he wrote this record with Ben. He's like kept it super groovy, and eventually through like writing and like really having a lot of fun with this one, like I think Ben and I stepped away from this one thinking like this is going off like finest hour so far, finest 10 minutes so far. Um, like we really enjoyed the ride, and we stopped giving a shit so much about so much stuff. Like I say, just wanted to make a record that was really personal to us. Every lyric and every like story behind each lyric was really personal to me, and we put a lot of energy into it and a lot of passion. And um, but yeah, we really leaned into the downs tuned. So it's the same tuning as Kill List, and then the more we had a different name for it at first. We had a different theme, different artwork, and then we were just like, no, it's Kill List 2. Like it's without a doubt, it's Kill List 2. It's just got the same. It's got the same heart, but different like blood running through it. I think, and it's like stronger, and it's a bit more visceral.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment. I listened to both EPs kind of back to back today
Mm.
before our chat to kind of see what was going on spiritually. And I think what you've said is pretty much spot on. It feels just as aggressive, but maybe more like playful and just like giving less of a fuck. And it kind of just has a little bit more groove and a little bit more swag to it.
But yeah, I don't think this one lets up. I think there was a lot of jarring kind of stops and starts in the first Kill List. A lot of abrupt ends, and then slow riff comes in. But this isn't that so much. This is quick switch ups. This is just keeps it moving, and like even down to the flow of very little samples that we picked to go in. Like it just switches up the flow, and then you're back in, and it's just like I think it's heavy, and I think it's like it's embarrassing how many times Ben and I would listen through the demos and be like getting really gassed to ourselves. Like, but that to me is
No,
the
that's what
sign
you
of
want. You
exactly. I
want to
think
be excited. Yeah.
we only do this for that. Like, I play music because I want to have fun and I want to enjoy the creative process. And if people
Yeah.
connect to the art, if people connect to the passion of it, then that means the world. And that's what still pushes me forward. But like at the end of the day, if Ben and I got really gassed like writing and recording it, and then we were the only ones that heard it and the only ones that liked it, nothing would change for me because the joy and the catharsis in writing and recording, producing that, and again like seeing it off to being a finished complete piece, that's just like that's all I need. That's like and then I can just put it out in the world, and if one person listens to it, then and they connect with it, that's bigger than anything, you know. It doesn't matter if it's one or 100 or 1,000. Like it's I've done my part. Like it's just done, and I had a ride doing it. So yeah, it's really cool.
Let's talk about the lyrical stuff going on the record. You kind of alluded to it before, and I think this idea of evolution kind of comes through once again. On
Mm,
the press release material that I got for the record, it says that it's an unapologetic exploration of loss, of
mm.
loved ones, of limbs, and past versions of yourself. So you kind of touched on this a little bit before, but maybe expand on it for us. Like what are you yelling about? What are you screaming about on this particular record?
Since we spoke in April last year, my life changed drastically in many ways. We lost we lost a lot of friends on the scene. Some anonymous Instagram accounts were made to spread some truly wild and damaging rumors about me, and we lost, trust of people that I thought, would look further than rumors and actually see past that and actually maybe think about, well, wait a minute, I know this person. But far too many people, uh, far too many people who are more bothered about their image than, what this is actually about. They would just turned everybody turned their backs, and it was a real roller coaster. And at the same time last year, I went through substance abuse issues for about 5 to 6 years of my life, and I lost my relationship. I lost my home last year, and I lost everything because I had to really stop myself in my tracks and finally
Mm,
just focus on nothing but my health. And it meant really just having to face it head on. I had to move back home to Blackpool for quite a while, and I um, just went through just like the wildest short burst period of time where all of these things happened in a matter of weeks, and I lost. I felt, I lost so much myself personally, and then furthering on from that, our guitarist Ben suffered an awful accident, and
mm,
uh, he was at home and fell unconscious, and his body weight went onto his leg, and he was unconscious for hours. And anyway, unfortunately, because of how long he was unconscious, he ended up in hospital, and they had to take his leg off.
oh
Um,
wow, that's awful.
yeah, and so like just the emotional roller coaster of like having our friend. And like, he's like a brother to me. He helped me through my addiction stuff so much. Sorry, I'm going to get really upset, dude. He
No,
helped me
dude, you take your time.
through this band, like especially like everybody in it, like these core members. They became so much more than a band to me. Like they became like family, and they supported me through like some of the hardest times. And like for him to go through that as well, like that's a hard thing to see. One of the strongest
Yeah,
people have to go through, and I tell you, man, like we've all gone through so much, and it just, like I say, it taught us to stop giving so much of a fuck. And so the lyrical themes at first for this, I find it took me quite a while to really. Going off's always something I'm either pissed off about, I want to shout about and stuff, but it took me quite a long time to really look within and think, what do I need to process, or what do I need to say, and what do I need to do, what can I do to even like just give both Ben and I a platform to just blow off some steam and fucking process that loss. And then I thought back to Destroy, which is an EP that we did in lockdown. And again, that was something for me that I knew that I was struggling with self destructive tendencies back then. And so Destroy was like, okay, so how many ways can the human how many ways can we as a species destroy ourselves in a figurative or
mm,
literative or physical sense? And then I came to, obviously realizing that I've dealt with so much loss and change. And so I thought, okay, it's cool to think about different ways we go through loss, and, whether it's your friend losing its limb, or whether it's losing all of the life you had before, whether it's going through change and losing your past self, whether it's all of these things. It was like, again, I think it's the stuff that people probably in their own way will interpret in many different ways, but probably find something to connect with. And so it was important for me. And I think through that came more raw energy and emotion, thus creating the
Yeah.
record in the in the way it's turned out.
Yeah, I I can definitely pick up on a lot of that on the record, and I guess I'll just say, thank you for being so open and so kind of vulnerable about everything on the record. I know that's not an easy thing to do, so thank you.
Yeah,
But
no, it's cool. It's honestly, it has become easier. I live my authentic truth, and it frees me. So at the end of the day, now all that matters to me is just creating and creating art in whatever ways I want, and just say not giving a shit. So,
yeah,
it helps me to stay focused and stay on track by being honest, because I don't shy away from the past. In fact, I encourage people to look. I want people to. Everybody's on a journey. Nobody knows what anyone else is going through, and I think we should all be able to know that it's cool to be more open and honest about stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, I think doing so can probably save a lot of people's lives.
yeah, I was just about to say that, like, if anything, like, that's one of the greatest sources of strength, right? And we talk about this on the show all the time about like the root of so much of this, like, aggressive kind of music that we gravitate towards is really rooted in the idea of catharsis. And,
Yeah.
in terms of what the ancient Greeks were talking about, like they called it a purgation of emotion, like
Mm.
a bloodletting of kind of a ritual almost of kind of getting all of that negative shit out of your body.
Yeah.
And I can't help but be drawn to the material that Going Off makes and your live performances, which really do look like a bloodletting on stage.
Yeah, it's I connect with it so much, but I've really disconnected with it at the same time recently too.
Yeah.
It's a switch, or not even a switch. It's all just. I used to feel so nervous, and I used to give so much of a shit and stuff, and now I can just go and let loose, and it's just freeing. Like I say, and it's just pure energy, and it's raw, and that's the thing. And when people connect with that, I think people do connect with that, and that's why the shows can be so much fun, and that's why when people want to start letting off, we've the band that play live together now, and with some fantastic musicians who are now essentially core members as well. They're going off um numbers. We're in strength, and there's so many people inside of it who play a part of it now. We have Alex Sladen and Charlie Wyatt on bass
Yeah.
and drums playing live, and me, Nate, and those two, we're gonna write a record together, and there's already so much cool influence going into that, and there's already so many great ideas, and we as a live unit, it's we're having so much fun playing live. We've got samples in there, and it's just, again, we just try and go it front to back. Let's go. Let's just have the most fun we possibly can. And yeah, there's certain bits where I'm just yelling into the mic, and I've noticed recently. We play a show and something will come into my head, and I know it's I think it's whilst I'm down the scream, I'm just and I can feel it driving the scream further. And it's at my very core, it's I know that he's releasing something, because I know off stage and I'm out of breath, and it's it feels like exercise, but it feels like I've really exerted. I've really I mean, who doesn't want to get the chance to yell at the top of their lungs
For sure.
and as loud as they can, and I get to do it, and while people start fucking swinging limbs and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a rare thing, right? Like, I was seeing a thing the other day. There were like people on Reddit just like posting, like, hey, going through a lot right now. Is there anywhere around, whatever city or town they live in where I can just go and scream for a little bit and people won't think I'm a fucking weirdo? And like, you
yeah,
get to do that. You get to do that.
yeah,
That's your
yeah.
that's your outlet.
But literally, that's what I mean. It's very. I've got that, and then on the on the opposite side of the coin, I've got painting.
Mm,
Which brings me so much peace. So it's
yeah.
you have to have doing these things brings me inner peace and brings me more joy and comfort in life. And life's hard enough as it is. I think everybody needs to express themselves in this way. And like I say, I'm super lucky and super grateful that we still to this day continue to go. We turn up to shows and like I had zero expectations, and every single time I'm just left surprised, surprised, surprised. It's just always like, no matter what, like there's a guy that came up to me the other day. We supported a Squaler Grind, like a legendary venue in Manchester, Star and Garter. We play there quite often. This guy, he's like, I think he's like 48, 50 or something, came up to me and he was just like, dude, he was like, never stop. He's like, what are you doing? He's just like, never stop what you're doing. He's like, he was like, I get a lot of compliments, which again, it's like, I don't try and let it inflate my head, but more so I take it on the shoulders and try and remind myself that there is no reason to stop. Like, this is so
No.
fun. This is so fun, and it connects with people on so many different levels. And if I've got the time to do it, or I can, it's never going to pay the bills, and it's never going to bring me security, but it brings me everything I need it to do anyway. Like, and if we can go to shows and people turn up and they fucking love it, then we're winning.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Sex Pistols, mate. They're like fucking 70 and they're still doing it. So like if it feels good, just keep rocking.
Do it. You'll see me like we'll do an interview in like 40 years time.
That's right. Yeah. Friend of the show
I'll
in
come
like
into
20
shot on a
years.
Zimmer frame, like, and sit down with a catheter.
That'll be great. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah, we'll book it in.
Another waste of such potential could have made a difference in this world. Well, I guess the end of the
I'll kind of wrap things up now, but you've got the new record coming out, Kill List 2, coming out on October 31st, independent release. I will have links in the description for people to pre-order the record and check out the singles and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah,
talk
cool.
to me about the plan for the end of the year. So once the record's out, do you have any shows coming up, tours, anything you want to plug?
We've got, I think we've got a European tour in the works for
Nice.
December. Other than that, it's a bit of a focus period now. We've got to get the Kill List 2 material weaved into the set
Yes.
because I cannot wait to see the live reaction. Because like we've been playing a lot of the other material, we play a lot of dive fast stuff, and it all gets a good response, but it's always our heavier stuff that gets the most active response, and this stuff is obviously the heaviest of the heavy. So
For sure.
I'm super keen. We're going to lock ourselves away to hone in on that, and we're going to focus on doing some more writing too. There's more shows in the works, like always. So and yeah, just see what new tricks we can get up to.
Nice. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that my favorite track on the EP is No One Loves You. And that's got a particularly interesting outro, I guess I would say, for the people who haven't heard it, because this will come out before the record's out. Do you want to talk to me about Dent and what you're doing with the side project stuff?
For sure. So first of all, that outro on No One Loves You, that's Ben's. Ben has electronic music like project called Snowfox,
Okay.
and that's literally just a clip of one of his own songs. So we're just like, let's just drop into the dubstep, the heavy dub
Hell
bit.
yeah.
And again, it's like such. No One Loves You is such a fast, aggressive, punky, like that's hardcore punk with like a groovy ending, and then it cuts to that, and I'm just like, I love the way it's a bit of a jar, like the jarring
but
flip.
It totally works. Like it's
Right?
it's a vibe switch, but it totally works.
Yeah, it's cool to, I think, change the energy and like give people a breather or chill them out for a second. Dent,
Yeah.
dude. So my friend Samuel and I, we've been friends and colleagues for many years, and he's a mad genius. He's super passionate about very certain particular things, and he is really dedicated to learning the most he can about these things, and he's super professional. And we've had a lot of similar interests and similar tastes and stuff for many years, and we're super close friends. And although we don't work together now, we reconnected on music. Samuel filled in for guitar on a tour with Employed to Serve.
Hmm.
And again, he's just is a multi-talented chef and musician. And so he reached out to me with a project maybe about 8 or 9, maybe even like 10 months ago, something. It's like I've been learning, he's invested in his like really like crazy synth setup, like these old authentic synthesizers and like a drum machine. And he's influenced by Swans, DAF, Ministry, Death in June, but then also like just he's like, I've learned all of this, but we need some sort of vocals over it. Do you want to try something out? And there were 2 other members, and it's kind of evolved into just Sam and I just realizing, like, hey, we should just make this gnarly. We should just make this heavy. And now it's got a bit more of like, it's got my like heavy vocals, but processed through some wild like distortion and space echo. And we're really honing in on the live set at the moment, so that he's going crazy and I'm going crazy, and then we've both got these pedals that we're doing this mad shit on. And it's really like I feel like it's wild because it's quite heavy and aggressive, but it's also really movable. Like
Mm.
whether it's like we've got some D beats in there when we're trying to keep it fast, and so whether it will still be a bit more moshy or it could be a bit more dancey, who's to say? But it's a lot of fun because again, when I've done heavy music now for God knows how long. So it's always interesting. I think once you bring electronics into music, it's really cool. Again, I'm 32. The time is now. Like I go to electronics and stuff. Is I'm like,
That's right.
how can I mature even musically? And it's very interesting, and it's teaching me a lot to explore new realms of what I can do with my voice and how I can take what I can do with my voice and then make it something weirder. So it's cool. We're having so much fun. We've got a show coming up in 5 weeks in a cool venue in Manchester. And we did a jam the other day, and we just left the jam being like, okay, like we're going somewhere. So it's cool. I'm super excited by them.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I definitely wanted to talk about it, and I'll have links for people to check that out as well if they want to fuck with that. I highly recommend that they do. But man, thank you so much for coming on the show and chatting about this. I can't wait
Thank
for
you,
people to hear
dude.
the new record. It rocks.
It means a lot. Yeah, no, thank you so much, mate. Thank you for the time. It's always a pleasure. It's cool to reconnect and keep doing what you do, man. Keep busy because you absolutely crush it.
Thank you, brother. Cheers.
Of course.
Hello, Owen popping in to say, please sign up for the TPD Patreon. This is what helps us keep the lights on and keep the show going. The link is at the bottom of your screen right now, patreon.com/tpdpod. All of our patrons get exclusive access to Side B of our roundup episodes, so you get a few extra tracks, as well as our feature album discussion and the full show experience. Our patrons also get exclusive access to behind the scenes, off the cuff chit chat from all of our guest episodes. But the patrons are the ones who make all of this happen. For as little as $5 a month, you can sign up to the TPD Patreon, and it really helps us out, really helps us keep the show going. So shout out to all of our patrons, shout out to our executive producer patrons. You're the real ones. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the show.